You're watching Sports Beat.
Yes, the Utah Jazz continued their preparations for the draft on June 22nd, just 12 days away. 6 more players worked out for the Jazz Saturday morning. One of them was Purdue All-American Caleb Swanigan, a homecoming of sorts for Swanigan, but for much of Caleb's childhood here in Utah, he didn't even have a home. He shared his remarkable story after today's workout.
Down low, Swanigan got great position and scores.
Caleb Swanigan was the Big Ten Player of the Year and a first-team consensus All-American as a sophomore at Purdue. He's come a long way since his childhood, much of it spent right here in Salt Lake City.
I lived in Utah from when I was about 5 to 12, so no, later than that, about 13 and a half. Made good friends around the Glendale area, and that's where I grew up. I moved around a little bit in the West Valley area, but it wasn't bad. You know, I enjoyed my time in Utah.
Caleb's life hasn't been easy, much of it spent in and out of homeless shelters.
Right off Palmer Court, you know, Section 8 and things like that. Grew up in the homeless shelter right across the street from Gateway Mall. And, you know, it was tough, but, you know, times like that, you just pull in with people around you, make good friends, and guys like Paul, Rogerio, and guys like that, and Nick Toon, you know, really helped me through my childhood.
When he was 14, his brother Carl made a phone call that would change Caleb's life. It was to a family friend named Roosevelt Barnes. He brought Caleb into his home in Indiana, adopted him, and helped him discover his potential. Biggie, as his family called him, was also battling obesity. He weighed 360 pounds in the 8th grade.
He's really worked on getting his body into NBA shape. He's lost, over 100 pounds. I have no idea how much he's lost.
Biggie dropped the weight and developed into one of the top high school basketball players in the country. His development continued in 2 seasons at Purdue. He averaged 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 assists a game while shooting 53% from the field, 45% from 3, and 78% from the free throw line as a sophomore.
Swanigan!
Wide open. A lot of guys may feel pressure on the court, but when you face real life pressure, you know, it's a total difference. And I have a good discrepancy to be able to separate that, and it makes it a lot easier on the court. It's really just, it's basketball, it's fun.
He's done a great job in getting himself prepared for the NBA. He's an extremely hard worker. I was here last night late, and he was in here working. It's a story you take into account, knowing that he has a desire and a dedication to become an NBA player from where he came from. So, I mean, it's just an absolute great story, a story that, who knows, one day may be on the big screen.
Caleb has overcome homelessness and obesity, and his NBA dream will soon become reality. It would be fitting if that dream was realized right here in Salt Lake City.
Man, I always wanted to be in the NBA since I was young, since I was here playing in the park against my brothers or anything like that. It's just, I've always wanted to be in the NBA. You know, it's very humbling, you know, coming from places like this around the city and coming back to be on a pro team and try and have this opportunity is a blessing.